One of the biggest complaints I have heard over the past few years about Abeka is the price tag. Now, most of us are on a budget, and you probably are, otherwise you wouldn't have clicked this video. And you want to know how you can do Abeka for as little or as budget friendly as you can. We want to get the most bang for our buck. So there are different aspects of Abeka that you can do. You have the video option, you have the parent-led option. I'm going to do a breakdown of how Abeka can work for any budget. So first we have the videos. That is going to be a recorded classroom setting. It's a real teacher, it's a real students in a real classroom for an entire year. If you want to go that route, your child will be getting the books, the tuition, and the DVDs with the guidance for all of their subjects from math to Bible, etc., and that will run about $1,000. Now, some of the grades are a little bit less, some are a little bit more, depending on what options you're choosing. But for the sake of today's video, a rough estimate is around $1,000 if you're going to do the video route. They also have a la carte options. So for example, let's say you want to direct your children and teach your children all subjects except math. You can purchase math a la carte, and your child will do the math DVDs with Abeka Academy that way. And that might be a more affordable option, just to do one subject through the DVDs and the videos rather than the entire scope. Then you have the parent-led, parent-directed, and that is what I mostly talk about on my channel, is how Abeka can work for you with different subjects and how you don't have to do every single thing that Abeka tells you that you need in order to make it work for you. Question number one, do you need the parent kits? You can get a parent kit for an entire grade. So we're gonna say you have a second grader. This would be a parent kit for the entire year of second grade. This is going to be the teacher manuals, the answer keys, the test keys, everything that you would need, the flashcards, everything you would need as a parent for your second grader. Then you have the child kits. Now you can get an entire year again of the child kits, and that's going to be all of the books, all of their workbooks, their readers, everything that they need for their section of their portion of work. You can get partial kits, or you can get a complete kit. Partial kit just focuses on one subject. So you could have a language art kit. So you may say, I'm gonna do math with teaching textbooks, I'm gonna do Bible through XYZ curriculum, science is gonna be this curriculum, but I do wanna do Abeka language arts. You can just purchase a kit for language arts. You don't have to get an entire grade, and you will save money that way as well. But back to the question, do you need the kits? My answer, absolutely not. So keep in mind, if you are not familiar with Abeka, Abeka was intended for Christian schools, and they have since adapted it for homeschoolers. But it is still mostly geared towards Christian schools, Christian school teachers. So they are going to include a lot of manipulatives, and for the teachers can choose which ones they want to use. And even though the course, the directions, the lesson plans say use this manipulative and this and this and this, you don't need all of the things. And these kits include all of the things, and they just are not necessary. The reason they say get the kits is that by buying in bundle, you'll save like 5 to 10%, as opposed to if you just pieced together and got all the items individually. We are going into our 5th year of homeschool, and I've used Abeka in almost every year except year 1, and I have taught 2 children to read with it, and we have had much success with it, and we didn't use everything. What I did, I knew I wanted to use the lesson plans, so I got our language arts, I ordered the lesson plans, and from there I just went through and I looked from the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, the end of the year, what charts and flashcards are being used the most. What are they using over and over and over again in the lessons? From there, I went online and I looked at the samples. Okay, what would be the most beneficial? I wanted them to read and do their phonics, and I knew Abeka is known for their phonics, so it wouldn't make sense for me not to get the phonics charts, right? But my second grader, she already pretty much knew how to read. She was just needing to reinforce those phonics skills. So I didn't need blend cards. Blend cards are, like the little flashcards that say B-A, ba, B-E, ba, where you're first learning to blend. I didn't need that for a second grader. So I said, we're gonna just skip that part. So go through, see what you need, see what you most would be beneficial most in your homeschool, and then go from there. You do not, and I repeat, do not need everything. I can't tell you what is going to be most important to you. You have to look through, and I encourage you to just look, see what samples are on their website, see what you most want to focus on through your homeschool year. And from there, you can get the flashcards and charts and everything that you feel like is most important that you want to focus on with your child. So you will be saving money by not buying all the extras. And besides, I feel like those parent kits are like overwhelmed. I've seen so many like Facebook posts of their Abeka delivery being ordered, and the moms are like, oh my gosh, I am so overwhelmed. This is so much. And I would totally feel the same exact way. You want to look forward to your homeschool. You don't want to be feeling like you're drowning in it. So by eliminating all the extras and the unnecessary things, you can have a little bit more freedom, which is, I think, the reason most of us are homeschooling. So tip number 2, buy your non-consumables used. And I'm sure that's pretty obvious to almost everybody on here, but I don't think I've ever bought anything brand new from Abeka that was not a non-consumable. So consumables are going to be their workbooks, something that they're writing in every single day, their little pages, their handwriting pages, their phonics, their math, whatever it is. Non-consumables is going to be the lesson plan guides, the like the science books, the history books. There are places for the history books for you to write in. We didn't do that. We just did the history books. I read one book aloud, and I shared one book for all of my kids, and we didn't write the answers in the book. We just said them out loud, and then I was able to sell it and go on because I bought it used, and then I was able to sell it and give it to someone else who could use it. And so by not writing in books that you don't need to write in, you can purchase them used and in turn sell them the following year when you're finished using them. You will save so much money, probably at least 50%, by just buying the non-consumables. Either I get them from eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Some local homeschool stores and some local bookstores will sell homeschool supplies and curriculum, and I don't have one of those near me, unfortunately, but if you're lucky enough to, you might luck out and get some curriculum from there. If you really wanted to go the extra mile and even save more money, and you knew you wanted to stick with Abeka for multiple children, what you could do is get one workbook, get it unbound. So the spine, it's gonna come just loose leaf papers. You could put them in sheet protectors and then have your child do the answer in dry erase marker, and then you could dry it and save it for future children, and that would save you even more money. Next, do you want to do the test? The tests are not necessary, especially if you are not accredited. Accredited with Abeka just means that you are having to, basically you're saying, we are going to send in my tests, my quizzes, report cards, grades, everything like that. And it's just for someone who needs a little bit more, maybe you need a little bit more accountability, or you're not sure of how well you're doing as a homeschool mom. By the way, you're doing great. And you just want to have that reassurance of knowing that there's like professionals who are evaluating your child's work. So there's accredited. For non-accredited, which most people, I think a lot of people do, that's what we do. It's basically you have leeway and liberty to do how little or much of the workbook as you want. You don't have to do the tests. So we have done both. I've done where we do the test and where we don't do the test. I think it really just depends on your child. But again, if you feel like, hey, you know what, as long as they're doing the workbook and we're doing the lessons, I don't need to test them every week, you can save money by not buying a test answer key and the test books. That is for history, science, math, language, every spelling, every single subject with Abeka comes with tests and quizzes, and you don't have to do all of the tests and all of the quizzes. You can pick and choose whether you want to do just a few of them, none, or you could do all of them. But if tests are not a priority to you, don't feel the pressure. It's just a few more dollars that you can save. So here's a tip that you might not know about. I'm gonna share it with you because I wanna make sure you get all the savings that you can. So first, if you are in the military, Abeka offers military discounts. If you're not in the military and you still want a discount, listen up. On the Abeka website, there is an option under resources that you can go and you can sign up for a webinar. The webinars happen often, almost daily, if not daily, and they have a few per day. So you have a lot of time slots available for you. And there's different webinars that they have about Abeka. Sign up for the webinar, make sure you attend. It's only about 15 minutes. At the end of the webinar, you will be given a code. The code is good for 72 hours. And it will be 10% off your purchase of $150 or more. Now, the only catch is it is not for video lessons. They have their own discounts for video lessons. I think it's sometimes 5% off. This is just if you're getting the workbooks. If you have multiple students and you're getting a good amount of material, that shouldn't be a problem. And 10% off for a 15-minute video, I think is totally worth it. I have saved so much money over the years by doing those little webinars every single year. I make sure I check those out and I get my discount code. So just to recap, the videos are not super budget friendly, but if that's the way you want to go, you can make it work for you. The parent-led is the more budget friendly options. Skip the parent and student kits. They just come with a bunch of excess that you don't need. Decide what extras and flashcards and charts that you do need and do want to go with. And when you decide those, make sure you purchase them secondhand. And finally, number 5, decide if you want the extras such as the tests and the quizzes for every single grade, or if you just want to skip those. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it gave you a few tips and tricks to consider when using Abeka. It is a great program, a great curriculum. I especially love it for the younger elementary ages. It has so many great components to it that are just true gems. And I would hate to think that Abeka has the potential to work for someone, to work for their child, but they feel like the cost is prohibitive. And so it can absolutely be done on any budget. If you stick with these tips, Abeka is extremely comparable to any other homeschool curriculum out there. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button because that just makes this video available for more people who might benefit from it. If you have not subscribed already, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe to my channel for more homeschooling content just like this. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.